I've always been an outdoorsy guy. Ever since I was a child, I've been outside from sunup till sundown, and it's always been a dream of mine to buy some untouched land and build my own outdoor oasis. So finally, last year I bought some land deep in the Muskoka Lakes to make this dream a reality. The land spans 40 acres. About 38 of this are completely untouched, never developed, never even had a trail cut through them. The remaining 2 acres are currently the main area of the property, and the previous owners have cut in this driveway, as well as this little campground. Muskoka is southern Ontario's cottage country. Just a couple hours north of Toronto and home to thousands and thousands of lakes, untouched forest, and massive granite outcroppings. Compared to the farmland where I live, this place is an outdoors paradise. Since COVID, property in this area and pretty much everywhere has skyrocketed, and as much as I'd love to be on one of these pristine boatable lakes, waterfront lots here are millions and millions of dollars. So I found the next best thing, a beaver pond. This gives me the view I'm after, is completely surrounded by nature, and has no neighbors. That is, except for these furry ones. That's right, the water my property sits on is 100% thanks to the Canadian beaver. This massive beaver dam dates back to the 1960s and floods a 20-acre area of land with 6 to 10 feet of water. Within a 5-minute drive, there's boat launches on 4 different clear water lakes, so for under a quarter of the price, I thought this was a pretty good solution. It has a beautiful nature view, we can still canoe and kayak, and it's westward facing for perfect sunsets every night. So my ultimate goal here is to build an off-grid paradise, but first I really just want to enjoy the land. So for the entire summer of 2024, I didn't make any changes here. I drove up my camper van for a place to sleep. Camped here on some weekends with my friends and family where we fished.
Look at the size of that baby.
Made campfires. Explored and simply just enjoyed life. What are you building, Ava? Teepee? Decorating it?
Yes.
Nice. So after learning the land for a summer and brainstorming many ideas, I decided my ultimate plan for the property. I want to build some small but luxurious structures like some bunkies, an outdoor kitchen, and an off-grid bathroom, but mostly I want the outdoors to be the living room of this cottage. I guess really what I'm trying to do is make a cottage but spread out among multiple small structures, all centered around this main fire pit and water area. Now the structures that are already here have seen better days. This bunkie is probably around 40 years old and never really built properly to begin with, though the last owner did try to fix it up, it looks like. But this is not exactly the accommodations I'm after. Nice. Even worse is this outhouse, which I think is actually only a few years old. Alright, well, let's see what's in here. Disgusting trough of poo aside, this building was built horribly to begin with. It has gaps all over the place, is covered in mouse poo, and I'd so much rather in the woods than in here. So I think I've had these old buildings long enough. So after crushing these buildings with an excavator, which was exhilarating, I highly recommend it, we weren't exactly sure what to do with all the waste. Earlier in the summer, I took one trailer load of wood to get rid of at the local dump, and they charged me $450 to get rid of it, which is criminal. It cost like $4 or $5 grand to get rid of these two buildings. So we decided our best bet was to burn up as much of this as we could. There was no fire bans or anything on, and we had got a lot of rain this summer, so I wasn't worried about it spreading anywhere. We're also not in a forest fire zone here. But regardless, I was a little hesitant because I knew it was going to be a pretty big fire. We used some buckets and hoses to keep it from spreading from the pile. And eventually the peak of the fire came and went with no problems. We did fail to consider one little element of the fire though. We probably started this fire while it was a little too light out, and the smoke rising up from the trees caused a neighboring cottage to call the fire department. They graciously came and put out the fire for us, and they were honestly super chill about it. We didn't even get a ticket. The next morning, we loaded up the ash and any of the remaining piles of wood. And we did still have to take 2 loads to the dump, which cost about $1,000, but saved probably 75% of the cost by burning that up, so no regrets. Getting rid of those 2 eyesores really opened up the view and actually had me reconsidering where I want to place these new structures. I was planning to put a bunkie right where the old one was, but I love how much you can see out onto the water now that that's gone, so I'll maybe reconsider that over the winter. Anyway, autumn's starting to set in on 2024, and that's about all we're going to get done this year. It was a great summer full of lots of fun memories, and I now have a blank canvas going into next spring. In a few weeks, I'll be releasing the first of many build videos from this property that I've been working on all this summer. So if you're interested on how this property progresses over the coming weeks, months, and years, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.